Hello and welcome to Allie in Sweatpants. My name is Allie and I am wearing sweatpants. Cue loud car immediately. I decided to film in my backyard today. I just felt like I needed a little bit of grounding and it felt like being outside would help me with that. So I hope that the lighting will be okay. I hope that the sound will be okay. And yeah, enjoy this sunny day in Southern California with me. So if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. A very warm welcome back to you. And if you're new here, welcome. A very warm welcome to you. I hope that you enjoy. We have a very, very lovely group of people who come back fairly regularly here, so it's a nice space to be in. I don't think this is going to be a particularly long episode today, but I kind of just felt like coming and chit-chatting. I wish that wasn't happening, but it is, so yes, I have a few finished objects and a few works in progress, and I thought that I would just share them with you today. Simon is here. Oh, there he is. So hopefully he won't be getting into any trouble during this episode. So I have one finished object technically from last week, and then I have another version that I finished from this week, or whenever that was. So it is the Romanticists, Simon, don't even think about it. So it is the Romanticists bandana. Oh, it might be hard to show with all of the shade going on, but it's a really beautiful bandana pattern that has these eyelets that look like flowers. And this is the first version that I knit, which I talked about last video. My nose is still itchy. That I couldn't find last video, but I did find it in the wash, and this is the one that I knit in Wool and the Gang Shiny Happy Cotton, which was stash yarn that I had for a while, and I'm pretty sure I looked it up and it's the eucalyptus colorway. So I made myself this one, and then I wanted to make my cousin one for when I go visit her at the beginning of May. And so I started this one, which is the same pattern, same size, same needles. It's slightly thinner yarn, so the sizing is a bit different. But this is out of a hobby. Ooh, something just fell on me and I was scared it was a bug. It was a leaf. It's a pretty old stash yarn that I've had from Hobby, and it's a bamboo tencel blend. I have it here. It is Go Handmade Tencel Bamboo Fine, 40% tencel, 40% bamboo, 50 grams, 210 meters. I haven't bought from Hobby in a while because I have heard some less than positive stories of how they have treated creators that they have wanted to work with, but it is yarn that I've had in my stash for a long time, and it is so soft it almost doesn't feel like anything, if that makes any sense at all, but it is so beautiful. So there it is up close, and I think I'm actually going to keep this one for myself, and I'm going to give the cotton one to my cousin. I think that this more sagey green will suit her complexion a little bit better, and I just think that she'll prefer it over the darker green. So two Romanticists, that is so hard for me to say, Romanticists bandanas, which I have yet to build up the courage to wear, which feels like a silly thing to say, but since it's out of my fashion comfort zone, those kinds of things take me a bit of time to gear myself up to wearing. So the next finished object that I have is the beanie that I was working on for my dad's teacher that he asked me to work on. So it is just the watch cap hat. Is there any way that I can, maybe? It's just the watch cap hat by Pearl Soho. It's a 2x2 ribbed beanie pattern. And I said in the last video that I was making the second smallest size. Sorry, Linda, here I am again being unorganized. It's actually the smallest size. And I was worried that it wouldn't fit because these are for like adult men. But it fits me fine. And I had my boyfriend try it on, and he has the biggest head of anyone that I knit for. And it fits him fine, so I think it will be okay. I knit the stitch count of the smallest size, but I knit the length of the largest size to kind of make up for that stretching that will happen naturally when the person puts it on. So it looks itty bitty witty, but I think it will be fine. And I knit this in Stash Yarn, which was Stylecraft Naturals Cotton Bamboo in their brown colorway. I've had it in Stash for quite a while, so it was nice to be able to use some of it for a gift knit. And yeah, I really like the pattern. I like how the decreases look. They kind of like swirl up at the top, and I just think it looks really nice and well thought out. The other thing that I always do at the top of hats, whenever it says to, you know, decrease to the final amount of stitches and then thread your yarn through the remaining stitches and pull it closed, I always do a Kitchener stitch instead. I just find that it feels sturdier for longer, whereas when you thread the yarn through and you pull it tight, I feel like no matter how tight I pull the yarn, and no matter how well I secure that end, that hole just grows over time. And that doesn't happen with a Kitchener stitch. So just a tip, if you'd like to try it, I highly recommend it. So yes, a watch cap hat is another finished object. And my last finished object that I have here to show, whoops, dropping whips on the dirt, are these itty bitty little pants. Can you believe this? So Simon, oh, he's rootin' and tootin' back there. I was completely and thoroughly influenced by Inga from Knitting Traditions. These are the First Impressions pants from Drops. It's my first Drops pattern I've ever knit, and it's a free pattern. And I was totally influenced by her because she's knit some for her baby, and she says that it's like her baby lives in them. And I have a friend who has it always feels weird saying a new baby coming, or like an upcoming baby, like it's a new movie or something. But she has a baby that's going to be due in August. And I love knitting her little baby things because I love knitting baby things. So I knit a pair of these for her. And they look so funny. And I thought I was making the 0 to 3 month size, and I made the 0 to 1 month size, which explains why they're so tiny. But the yarn that I used is veganyarn.com's sock base. So it used to be organic cotton bamboo blend, and now it's organic cotton, and I'll have to check. I'll put the yarn content on the screen for you. But I've had this in my stash for quite a while, and I was actually making the heel toe do-si-do socks out of this particular yarn. And I wasn't picking them up. I didn't think that the yarn was really suiting the stitch pattern as much as I wanted it to, so I ripped those out, and then I was like, I feel like that would be really good yarn to make these baby pants out of because there's some elastic in them. And I don't know baby sizes, but I feel like that could fit 3 months easy. I mean, right? Like, not only is it 2x2 rib, which is already stretchy, but then there's like a little bit of elastic in the actual yarn. I feel like that's definitely going to stretch longer than 0 to 1 months. But I have yarn left over, so when I gift these to my friend, I'm just going to say if they are simply too small to be useful, let me know. I'll rip them out and I will make a bigger size. So I had intended on making the belly and the legs a little bit longer than called for in the pattern, because that's what Inga kind of recommended, because she was saying that that way as the baby grows longer, they can grow with the pants, because I think babies tend to grow longer before they grow wider, if I'm not mistaken. But my friend has really little babies, very itty bitty babies, so I think I maybe only went half a centimeter longer on the stomach, and I didn't go any longer on the legs, and I still think that her baby will probably get quite a bit of use out of these. So I'm very excited. It's a beautiful colorway. It reads as a yellow to me, although I don't know, I don't think the entire base of the yarn is dyed yellow, but there's an overwhelming, oh my gosh, there's a bunny out right now and my dog is right near it. That's Simon. Can you see the bunny? Oh my gosh. Simon! Come here! The bunny is right there. We get bunnies in our yard all the time. Hi! And I love them. So, as I was saying, this yarn reads to me as yellow, which I think is perfect for a sweet little new baby, but it has true yellow specks. It has orange, burnt orange, some like hot pink, little magenta specks, which are really pretty. Those were fun to find in the yarn. So yeah, I just think they're a sweet, soft little color for a baby. So my last finished object is the Versal sweater that I was knitting for my friend, and I actually filmed a clip of me talking about the sweater on my phone the other day before I mailed it off to her, which is actually supposed to arrive tomorrow, so that's very exciting. I'm glad that I sent it off when I did. So I filmed that on my phone, so prepare for quality lighting sound shift, but I will insert that now. Okay, so I finished the Versal sweater for my friend. It is the Versal by Albina McLaughlin. Da, 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 da. I knit the 5th size, and I think it is perfect. I think it's going to have the perfect amount of positive ease. It's a really cool pattern, as I've said before. There's a bunch of different neck options. There's some different body shaping options. I really like the pattern. I would recommend it for sure. I've made it 3 times now. And I think it's a really beautiful result. I knit this out of Lion Brand Touch of Linen in the Dijon colorway, and it's showing up very true to color right now. It's just a Dijon mustard yellow. I did no decreases in the sleeves until the cuff, and then I did a rapid decrease and I did the cuff. And I have a feeling I might need to lengthen the body a bit for her, but that's okay. I'm supposed to see her for like a week at the beginning of May, so I'll just bring the leftover yarn that I have in case anything needs adjusting, because I have quite a bit. I wonder, I should have weighed it. I have you know, these were from the sleeves and then this is what's left from the body. So I definitely could lengthen it if she needs it to be lengthened. Also, say hello to all your friends. I can definitely lengthen it if that is what she needs, but yeah, here she is. I went for the folded over crew neck option for the neck, and I'm really happy with it. I think it's going to be the best option for her. As I've said in my, you know, last time I was talking about it, it's cool. It's like a saddle shoulder raglan hybrid sweater. So you do different increases at different rates in different parts of the sleeve or body, but it's written really, really clearly. I've never had any trouble following the increases. And there are short rows, which I talked about in the last episode too, especially this side. It is just not neat for me. I don't know what I am doing wrong. So I just went inside. Let me see. Sorry, I'm filming this clip on my phone, so it's a bit lower quality, but I just went on the inside and I just kind of like tested loops to see which ones would pull it tight on the front. And then when I found the right loop, I just pulled it to the max and then did that for all of them and secured it to the bottom of the neckline. And it's definitely not perfect, but it's much better than it was. And to be honest, on my Versal, where it has German short rows like this, I use these to remind me which is the front and which is the back. So who knows? Maybe she'll do the same, but yes, here she is. I'm very, very happy with it. I hope that my friend likes it. So now that I have filmed this little clip, I can go to the post office and mail it to her. So I'm very excited. And then yes, those are my finished objects for this video, and I will move on to my works in progress. So because I had such a good time knitting the baby pants, I decided to cast on another pair of baby pants. And it truly is the humble beginnings of this project. I have not made much headway at all. At first I knit the last pair, because you start on 2.5mm needles and then you move to 3 or 3.5mm needles. And I initially knit the 2.5 on long circulars, and then I transitioned to 9" when I moved up a needle size. And then I realized, why didn't I just use 9" for the 2.5s as well? So these are the 6 to 9 month size. So I'm hoping that they will be wider than the ones that I've already knit, and I will also make them, you know, to the length measurements. And this is the Tencel bamboo yarn that I was showing you from Hobby. So it's silky, silky smooth. I probably have about over 100 grams of this yarn, maybe like 125 grams. So I think I'll be totally fine to make another pair of bigger pants. But yep, first impressions pants from Drops. I have put them a little bit on the back burner because they have the longest due date of the things that I am working on. So yes, but I'm very excited to get back to them. My next work in progress that I've been diligently setting time aside for is another watch cap hat for my dad. He wants 3. I only think I'm going to be able to do 2, and then my mom said that she would also knit one. Not a watch cap hat, but she has her own pattern that she likes. So this is the second watch cap hat that I am making. I am again making the smallest size, and this is fingering weight held double, which is coming out to be thicker than the DK weight that I used. I'm using, again, old stash yarn from Hobby. It's the baby cotton, 100% organic Egyptian cotton in their gray colorway. So 50 grams is 170 meters. Hi, baby. Simon is just sitting in the sun enjoying himself. So I'm knitting it to pattern, but again, I'm going to knit the 8.5 inches in height before the decreases, which is the height for the largest size, and I think it's gonna end up perfect. This one is much thicker than the one that I made before, so I kind of told my dad, I was like, when you go there and you see the people that you want to give the hats to, sort of like eyeball their head size and kind of like gauge. Like if one has obviously a bigger head than the other, give them the bigger one. So yeah, he thought that was funny, but it's not bad advice, I don't think. So I'm working away on that. Nothing much else to say. It's a nice pattern. I would recommend. And I have been working on my Julie jacket. Julie jacket, I never know what to say. I am knitting it in Knit Picks City Tweed Aran in the Toad colorway, which is 100 grams and 164 yards. And I didn't say the yarn content last time. It's 55% merino, 25% superfine alpaca, and 20% Donegal tweed. And it's a very, very lovely yarn to work with. I have been working on this during the day because I would love to get it done for my trip to Chicago and Ohio at the beginning of May, but it is mid-April now, and we'll see. There's no pressure, but we will see. I stopped in the middle of the row, which is so bad, but I think it's gonna kind of work out actually to show it off. So I have finished both the front panels and I have connected under the arm. That's about how far I have. I think it is working up. There you go, you can see that a bit better. I think it is working up so beautifully. It's really fun to do because the only row I really have to think about is when the cable row comes around, and I just have in my notes like a little tally system going on to let me know when I'm coming up on a cable row, which is actually my next right side row that I'm going to be working on. But everything else, you memorize pretty quickly what you're doing. And I'm really enjoying it. I am making the 4th size, which I have made before, and I really love that cardigan, so I wanted to make it again. I've said that the unfortunate thing about this pattern is the sizing is limited, and I hope that that gets expanded one day. I already had the pattern and I really like the pattern, so I decided to utilize it again. But just something to be aware of is definitely check the sizing before you decide to purchase. It's a really nice pattern. It's you knit the back panel and then you pick up for the front panels. You do some shaping for the neckline and then you connect it all, not in the round, but you connect, you know, the front and the back pieces. And it's in all over, I think it's called Trinity knot stitch. And then it has some cables that are supposed to be twisting towards each other, but I didn't flip the orientation from the back to the front. So my back cables twist towards each other and my front cables twist away from each other. It really doesn't bother me that much. And I said in the last video that I was going to do 2x2 ribs for the sleeves, and I think I may have changed my plan. I think what I might actually do is just one cable down the center of the arm, and I haven't decided if it's gonna be a 4-stitch cable or maybe an 8-stitch cable. These are 4-stitch cables. But for the sleeve it might look nice to make it a slightly bigger cable. And then I might do double broken moss stitch, which I think would kind of emulate the baubles that we have going on, but in a more toned down way. That's my thinking currently. But yes, I am, in the mornings and the evenings, I really love a simple knit, so I've either been working on the watch cap hat or the sock I'm about to show, and then all day I've been dedicating whatever knitting time I have to this to see if I get it done in time. I don't think it's gonna happen, but if it does, it does. And at any rate, it's keeping the momentum going on this project, because I feel like this year and sort of towards the end of last year, if I kind of hit a snag on a project and my momentum stops, it's really hard for me to keep working on it, and then I just cast on new things and it sort of gets set aside. And I feel like I have quite a few things set aside right now, so I want to kind of get in the momentum of finishing my things instead of the momentum of putting them aside. So I've been working on that. And then the last thing that I have been working on is this heel toe do-si-do sock, which I showed last time. So I've made quite a bit of progress. I've done the heel. So the main yarn that I'm using is Knit Picks, and I called it Felici last time. It's definitely not Felici. Felicini, maybe? In the concession stand colorway, which is 75% superwash merino wool and 25% nylon. It's beautiful. I really enjoy working with this yarn. And then the contrast that I used is actually Regia cotton sock in just like a tan colorway. And I believe I'm going to use that for the toe as well. And the reason I did that was because I didn't really want to break the striping pattern. It does still become a bit modified because you have more stitches in the gusset section, so the stripes are not as thick as in the rest of the sock, but it didn't disrupt the, you know, color order. So we're making our way. And my mom was putting an order in through Knit Picks, and I asked her if I could add another ball of this in the order, because I think these colors as stripes in like a little summer tank top would be so cute. So she ordered me another ball when she put through her order, which I'm very excited about. So if you know any good like little summer tops that kind of lend well to self-striping yarn, please let me know, because all the ones that I can think of have sections where you knit flat, which will obviously change how the striping looks from when you work in the round, which might not be a bad thing. It might just be something I have to play with. But the one that I'm thinking about is the Totally Tank by Jessie May, which I have made, I think last year. Martina and I made it together at the same time, I think last year. So that's kind of the vibe that I have in mind, but we shall see. A couple admin things that I would like to talk about. I brought up the veganyarn.com yarn, and I have been forgetting to say this recently, but I do have an affiliate link and a discount code with them. So you can use the code Allie in Sweatpants, or use the link in my bio, and you get 5% off your order, and I get a small commission from your order as well. So if you've been eyeballing their yarn and you'd like a little bit of a discount, my code or my link is available to you. And the other little bit of admin that I'd like to cover is just a reminder that Martina and I are still running the Adventures in Stash knit along. It will be through the end of the year, so you have plenty of time. We are mostly hosting it through Instagram. You can use the hashtag Adventures in Stash, and I believe that's where we will pull winners from eventually. and I follow the hashtag, so I've really been enjoying seeing the posts and the projects that you guys are putting in there. It's very exciting to see people participate in this little idea that I had. And I think that's about it today, my friends. I am so grateful you came and you spent some time with me in my backyard. I hope that the lighting and the sound was okay, but I just really felt called to do this outside today. I hope that you are well. I hope that you are happy and healthy, and if you're not, I hope that you are soon. And I guess I'll just be back when I have more to talk about. Bye.